This is a winery and a vineyard. In the wine production, we're using obviously water in cleaning and activities, quite a lot of water, 5 litres or more per litre of wine produced. So we're using about 5 megalitres, 5 million litres a year. We've got a vineyard here that is 13 hectares, and obviously during summer we're applying water. We're applying water right now. During this latter stage of the season. So water is used, something between 1.5 and 2.5 megalitres of water per hectare. So clearly we have to find water. So what we've decided to do is to recycle our water on the property. Aerobic digestion is simply where the aerobic bacteria are encouraged in wastewater to consume the soluble nutrients in wastewater, so that the water then doesn't carry a load of extra nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus onto wherever it's being stored, and therefore create algal blooms and issues of other sorts of pollution. So basically it's using naturally occurring bacteria with in order to do the job for you, to clean up your water. Regarding soil and organic matter on the property here, the solutions are obviously, because we are a winery again and we produce a great product, we have a certain amount of natural organic matter as a byproduct, so we can compost that back into the vineyard. And as you can see in these vineyards, there's an amount of covered grass. That grass is obviously going to be mown and to some degree reincorporated back into the soil as organic matter. So we've reversed the thinking that the weeds are a bad thing, they're actually a good thing. We've also sown various other prosperous root crops like oats and clovers to enhance the biodiversity here, which gives us more bulk of organic matter in the soil down here. One side of the grape waste and the grape marc and the stalks and so on that come from the winery that needs to be combined with other organic matter sources, manures, barks, wood chips, green waste, those things. And we've got to have some way of relatively quickly and cleanly handling that, so we have a vertical composter. Secondly, we do have windrow or compost heaps where we have overburden, overload, and we actually turn that over on the farm and allow that to break down naturally and combine that with the composted material that we have in the vertical composter. Finally, we have a vermicompost system, which are vermi being the worms. And what we're looking to do is to take partly decomposed material, food waste, things that naturally are produced, because we do have catering on this side as well, so there's food waste, and that's all good food for worms. If you flush water through it, and worms need to live in cool, moist conditions, if you put water out, which we do, dose it automatically with water, that water can be recycled from the bottom to the top, eventually enriching that water with fungi and bacteria and nutrient from the composting process, and that becomes a vermicompost tea, which can be used back in the vineyard as a food source for biology on the leaves of the plants. The general principle is that what society regards as waste is often reusable. And basically all we're saying is if you clean water up on the way through, you pick up organic materials that can be recomposted and made for a sort of a useful contribution to a compost, for example. And that's the sludge separation from the drains and the filtration system applied to wastewater coming from the winery. You need what's called an environmental management system of some sort, which is a documentation of some of the key factors that you can measure your business ongoing against. It's even easier when you're looking at the rest of the business in terms of a winery, because you're looking at the issues about kilowatt hours and how much energy you use to produce a crop. You look at how much cleaning chemical you use in the process of it and how that's being managed. You can look at your water retained, the amount of water that you catch and retain in the business. So you've got a number of clearly quantifiable factors which should be included in an environmental management system. For example, when we have to store finished wine, which we have to, our warehousing is low energy. Energy is a big issue in terms of a winery operation. We use a lot of three-phase equipment. If you were to refrigerate a space, you're using a lot of energy. So we've used alternative architectural or building design issues in order to get the best insulation. One of the ways we've done that is with one building, we entirely built that out of straw with concrete rendering on the inside and the outside. Now that building doesn't have any refrigeration and stays at a pretty even temperature all year round.